Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Dani Dishes from my nice little den here. Hopefully the construction guys that are currently putting solar panels on our house are not as loud on the video as they are in real life. It is a little difficult to find any space in the house. My parents have a two-family that is quiet, so I actually got to do my calls yesterday from a secluded bathroom, which is fancy, I know, it's just basically how I roll, but that was a fun little thing to overcome yesterday, but it's obviously just part of the course in dealing with being able to think on your feet, so I was able to make myself a makeshift home office on the floor of the bathroom. Completely normal, but I had plenty of water if I needed any. We'll look at the positive side of it. So this past week was Easter and Passover, so I hope everyone had an amazing weekend with friends. And there's this like round thing in the sky that's bright and kind of like has light coming off of it. Whatever that is called, because it's been too long since I've seen it here, is kind of sticking around for a little while, which is super nice. It actually showed up during our my final long run with Teddy's team on the marathon course on Saturday, and I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't want to bring up its name, but it would be really nice if for a little while it kind of like hung out. Would be cool. I would like it to not be too hot on race day, clearly, but even just like a little sky leading up to it, a little sun would be awesome. So that's been a little adjustment this week, is actually having a little bit warmer temperatures, which has been super nice, but the wind has been seriously dialed up in Boston. I don't know if it thinks that I need extra resistance training right now, but it seems like no matter which way you go, the wind is like in your face and you're like, how is this possible? And you're like, only in Boston is this normal. So that has been something when it comes to the training. It's been a lot of wind, which is fine. We're just going to call it resistance training and be able to move on. The other thing is that we are now in taper time. Now, I had said on the Facebook page, weight off my shoulders, and on Twitter, Irish Eyes 1982, follow, that I really won't have a huge taper. So I never hit more than 50 miles in a week during training, just the way that I had it set up. So I don't really need a huge taper. Like the taper is really for people that are like banging out like 60, 70 miles per week, which is awesome for you, not something in my realm of training. So I pretty much, like last week was 32 miles, this week will probably be 30, and then next week will probably be like 25. So it's going down a little bit, but it's not as drastic of a taper as some other people. So I don't think I will experience as much like taper madness, as they call it, as some of the other people that have higher mileage. So I'm still like Monday night spin, you know, doing my core work. I obviously am not going to try to walk around as much like that weekend, which of course is then the weekend where I actually have like fun plans to do, because people are coming in from out of town and there's like events to go to and parties and the expo, and that's exactly when I am going to walk around a lot, which is just always funny how that works out for the marathon weekend. But I'm excited to have that to look forward to. So it's the next 2 weeks, so still playing smart, and I really think I need to focus on my nutrition. So I've been losing, which is great, but you know, looking back at my tracker, I'm not making the best decisions. A lot of like snacky items and things that I don't want to be picking at. So I need to keep them out of the house, just because I know that I'm doing a little bit of stress eating and using that as an outlet, and obviously still getting in my fruits and vegetables. You know, I have those healthy options in there, but a little too much of the snacky stuff on the side. So really going to work on streamlining that in the next couple weeks, because I want to go into Boston and into the marathon just feeling the best that I can feel. And then whatever happens on race day will happen. But sometimes looking back on the tracker, you know, I can obviously see that the weekends are the toughest for me. And only recently has it been that I've had like more social engagements. Usually I don't really have anything to do on the weekends. So this has been a little different, where I am going out with folks and having like more cocktails than usual, which suck up the points pretty quickly. So knowing that I want to look at the next 2 weeks, and that's something that I really want to work on. And it's not something, you know, it's something that we all get used to, right? We all have social engagement. So it's that balance of creating like what your goals are to what you want to do when you hang out. So I just need to do a little bit of refocusing. And someone actually brought up and was wondering if I was doing any sort of like self-sabotaging, which I had like sort of thought about because this is my lowest weight that I've been since like 6th grade. So we're talking like 1993. And it's kind of surreal and it's kind of an uneasy feeling because I'm not used to it and I don't expect it. And part of me feels like I don't deserve it, which I know is part of the mental game of weight loss. And I think it's just really hard to wrap my head around that it's okay and that I'm allowed to be having success. And so it kind of brought up some things where it's like there might be a little bit of self-sabotaging there, because like having something and like looking at it and being like, I know that this is not the right choice for me, and it's kind of like I kind of went, meh, whatever, like I'll track it and move on. And that's not really how I want to be handling things. And so it actually was an idea that it's kind of like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop sort of thing, and being like, at some point, you know, I'm going to gain all of it back and that's what's going to happen. And it only tends to happen when I'm finding like more success and when I don't think I deserve it. And so it's kind of seeing that mental part of it. And so that's something that I really need to work on as I continue, because not only, you know, it'd be nice to lose a little bit more for running, but I'm completely happy with where I am. So it's kind of now like refocusing the mind and reframing to know that it's okay and that I do deserve it and that I don't have to punish myself for the success that I'm having. So I think that's something that I'm going to really be working on this week. So thank you from Mom Running on Empty, Sarah, for bringing up that idea, because I think it actually was true. There was some like subconscious sabotaging in there. So have you guys ever found that you are having success and all of a sudden your mind takes over and is like, you don't really deserve this, and you start making those choices that you used to do or you know isn't the best choice? Does anyone else, can anyone relate? Am I the only one out here? Please tell me I'm not the only one in this world. So let me know your thoughts if this is something that you've experienced too, or feelings that you've had. And no matter what, I will check in with you guys next week because it's going to be the last one before the marathon. Fun times. Make sure you track me. I'll keep the information below so you can track me on your phone on race day. All right, I'll see you guys next week.